Hello, all you freedom-loving people. Welcome to another episode of Front Page. I'm your host, Scott Cameron Goulet. President Trump will not be disqualified from the Florida primary for refusing to sign a loyalty pledge because Florida Republicans have eliminated the loyalty oath requirement in order to run in the state's primary. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy predicted that Ron DeSantis will not be the Republican Party's nominee for the presidential race. It will be President Trump. President Trump spoke candidly on Sunday about the 2020 election and about his running mate for the 2024 election. President Trump is expected to join the auto workers in Michigan to show his support, while Biden's push for electric vehicles may swing more votes from the union workers to President Trump. The Big Three has seen huge profits over the past decade, and auto workers are looking for a substantial raise and a 32-hour work week. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton was acquitted on all 16 charges of impeachment. Okay, let's get into it. Florida Republicans have eliminated the loyalty oath requirement to run in the state's primary. This is a move that strongly favors President Trump. The loyalty pledge is a rule that was adopted by the Florida Republican Party Executive Committee at a meeting in May that requires those seeking to run in the state's primary election to make a pledge of allegiance. The rule required would-be candidates to endorse the 2024 Republican presidential nominee regardless of who it is if they do not secure that nomination. President Trump has publicly stated that he would not sign such a pledge. Now, President Trump will not be disqualified from the Florida primary for refusing to sign a loyalty pledge. President Trump's biggest competition right now is Governor Ron DeSantis. DeSantis' spokesperson Brian Griffin expressed surprise at the opposition to the Pledge of Allegiance. He said, "We believe anyone who wants to run for president as a Republican should be willing to pledge their support for our eventual nominee. It is surprising that anyone interested in seeing the defeat of Joe Biden in 2024 would disagree. DeSantis had a very impressive political record in Florida, and he was well supported by his people. However, there is a group of people who think he should not run for president in 2024. Outside the closed-door polling site in a small conference room at the Rosen Center Hotel on Friday night, 100 or so Trump supporters milled about in nearby hallways waiting for the result of the meeting of the members of the state executive committee." Debbie Stolte of Altamonte Springs, Florida, said in an interview with the Epoch Times, "If it wasn't for Trump, he, meaning DeSantis, wouldn't be governor right now. The reason why I'm here is because I need Trump on the ballot." She acknowledged that DeSantis was a great governor. She supported him as a volunteer during his campaign for governor and his successful re-election. Stolte also said, "I gave him money. We all work for him to be our governor. He should have just waited to run." Her views should represent those of a large portion of the Republican Party. In early March, the California Republican Party instituted a rule for primaries that would allocate delegates proportionally to the total number of votes cast unless a candidate received more than half of the state's votes. In July, the proposal was criticized by Laura Loomer and other Trump supporters who argued that it favored DeSantis. At the end of July, the California Party Executive Committees approved a change to the rule. In a Sunday Fox interview, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy predicted that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis won't be the Republican Party's nominee for the presidential race. He said that President Trump will likely be the party's choice for 2024. McCarthy also said, "I think he will be the nominee." And the thing is, President Trump is stronger today than he was in 2016 or 2020, and there's a reason why. They saw the policies of what he was able to do with America, putting America first, making our economy stronger. We didn't have inflation. We didn't have these battles around the world. We didn't look weak around the world. DeSantis' approval ratings have dropped again recently, and the gap with President Trump is widening. A Quinnipiac University poll last week showed President Trump leading DeSantis by 50 points, by 62% to 12%. McCarthy said on Sunday, "I served with Ron DeSantis. He's not at the same level as President Trump by any shape or form. He would not have gotten elected without President Trump's endorsement." On Sunday, Meet the Press on NBC News aired an interview with President Trump. President Trump discussed multiple issues with host Kristen Welker. When talking about why he challenged the results of the 2020 election, President Trump said that after the election, he received advice from many different people. And after weighing all the opinions, he made the formal decision. He said, "It's my choice." Welker asked President Trump why he decided to challenge the election, even after the most senior lawyers in his administration and on his campaign told him that he lost. President Trump said, "I didn't respect them as lawyers." President Trump named former Attorney General Bill Barr, who feared an impeachment investigation and who acted to avoid it. But President Trump didn't respect the opinion of some attorneys, but he did respect many of the lawyers that he had hired. The host asked if President Trump selectively listened to some people because they were telling him what he wanted to hear. President Trump answered, "You know who I listened to? Myself. I saw what happened. I watched the election, and I thought the election was over at 10 o'clock in the evening. It was my decision." Despite facing 4 trials, President Trump told Welker that he wasn't worried about them. President Trump said, "I don't even think about it. I'm built a little differently, I guess, because I've had people come up to me and say, 'How do you do it, sir? How do you do it?' I don't even think about it."
I don't even think about it. All I think about is making the country great, making America great. Look, these are these are Banana Republic indictments. These are third world indictments.
President Trump returned to the question of facing criminal charges on his own accord later in the interview. He said, "When you say, 'Do you lose sleep?' I sleep. I sleep because I truly feel that in the end, we're going to win." President Trump has also indicated that he will not pardon himself after winning this election.
Mr. President, if you were reelected, would you pardon yourself?
I could have pardoned myself. Do you know what? I was given an option to pardon myself. I could have pardoned myself when I left. People said, "Would you like to pardon yourself?" I had a couple of attorneys that said, "You can do it if you want." I had some people that said, "It would look bad if you do it," because I think it would look terrible. I said, "Here's the story. These people are thugs, horrible people, fascists, Marxists, sick people. They've been after me from the day I came down the escalator with Melania, and I did a great job as president. People are acknowledged. Great economy, great jobs, great this, great that, rebuilt the military, Space Force, everything. I could go on forever. Let me just tell you, I said the last thing I'd ever do is give myself a pardon."
His reasoning is that President Trump has done nothing wrong. President Trump said, "I think it's very unlikely. What did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong." Speaking of the current election, President Trump said he likes the idea of a woman serving as his vice president, but there are more important factors than male or female to consider when picking his running mate. When Welker asked, "Are you leaning toward a woman?" President Trump said, "I like the concept, but we're going to pick the best person. But I do like the concept, yes." President Trump mentioned that it's too early to consider a running mate, and for now he wants to make sure that he wins the nomination. He said, "I really don't think it's time. I want to win." Media speculation has pointed to former Arizona gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake and to South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. In the interview, President Trump was asked about Kristi Noem as a possible pick, and he said she's been a great governor. Certainly, she'd be one of the people I'd consider, or for something else maybe. But we have a lot of great people in the Republican Party. President Trump also mentioned that Kristi Noem gave him a beautiful endorsement during a recent rally in her state.
It is my honor to present to you the man in the arena. He is a man of significance. He is the leader, the fighter that our country needs. He has my full and complete endorsement for President of the United States of America. I will do everything I can to help him win and save this country.
Kristi, I'm truly honored to receive your endorsement. Very much so. I appreciate it.
President Trump has also mentioned that he likes Vivek Ramaswamy. President Trump told conservative talk show host Glenn Beck at the end of August that, "I think he's great. Look, anybody that said I'm the best president in a generation," and he said it a couple of times, "I have to like a guy like that." Auto workers at General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, formerly Chrysler, are currently on strike, and President Trump is considering visiting them. Detroit News reported that the campaign is holding details of the visit close, but we expect to see Trump in Michigan in the next few days. Last week, President Trump warned auto workers that they are being sold down the river by the Biden administration's push for a rapid transition to a green economy where electric vehicles dominate the road. President Trump said the auto workers will not have any jobs because all of these cars are going to be made in China. The electric cars automatically are going to be made in China. Those jobs are going to be gone because all of those electric cars are going to be made in China. That's what's happening. In 2020, Biden reportedly won 57% of the union votes in Michigan compared to President Trump winning 40%. President Trump could significantly increase his share of union households in a rematch against Biden. President Trump could do this by registering to vote millions of non-college educated whites in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania who remain unrepresented. The negotiations between the UAW and the Big Three now come as auto executive incomes as well as automakers' profits have skyrocketed recently. In 2022, General Motors CEO Mary Barra raked in almost $29 million. This is 362 times the average salary of a GM employee. The Economic Policy Institute reported that profits at the Big Three auto companies, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, soared 92% from 2013 to 2022, totaling $250 billion. Forecasts for 2023 expect more than $32 billion in additional profits. The income for CEOs at the Big Three also jumped by 40% during the same period. However, auto workers have said that they feel abandoned by Biden and the Democratic Party since they increasingly side with multinational corporations rather than with the interests of working and middle-class Americans. On Saturday, the United Auto Workers Union, the UAW, stated that negotiators from the UAW and Ford had relatively productive negotiations on the new contract. However, there was no apparent breakthrough as of Saturday afternoon. We analyzed the UAW's targeted strike last week. If it continues to escalate, it could affect Biden's approval ratings. Therefore, Biden has changed his wait-and-see attitude toward the negotiations. Biden made it clear last Friday that he wants the Detroit Three to make concessions. He called on the three major automakers to share corporate record profits with workers. The current offer from the automobile companies include a 20% pay raise. Biden said that he applauded the entities involved for working around the clock, and he said that the companies needed to offer more. Biden said, "Companies have made some significant offers, but I believe it should go further to ensure record corporate profits mean record contracts." UAW workers want a 4-day, 32-hour work week for the pay of a 5-day, 40-hour work week. They also want substantial pay raises. They want more paid time off and pension benefits instead of 401k savings plans, among other demands. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce accused the Biden administration of being responsible for the strike. Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Susan P. Clark said on Friday that the UAW strike, and indeed the summer of strikes, is the natural result of the Biden administration's whole-of-government approach to promoting unionization at all costs. After 8 days of testimony, Texas senators voted on September 16th to acquit Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton on all 16 articles of impeachment. The majority vote on each article in his impeachment trial was for acquittal. Senators voted to reject the remaining 4 articles of impeachment, and they adjourned the session. Paxton said in a statement after the acquittal that today the truth prevailed. The truth could not be buried by mudslinging politicians or their powerful benefactors. I've said many times, seek the truth, and that's what was accomplished. Paxton is widely viewed as one of the most prominent U.S. legal conservatives taking up issues in defense of religious liberty, the Second Amendment, and the right to life. Paxton was reelected in November of 2022 for a third term. He was impeached by the Republican-led House of Representatives in Texas for alleged bribery and abuse of office. They said that Paxton allegedly used his position to help Nate Paul, a real estate developer in Austin, Texas. Nate Paul is under federal investigation after senators voted to acquit Paxton. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, the president of the Senate and the presiding judge of the court, signed the acquittal, and he reinstated Paxton as Texas Attorney General. Throughout this process, President Trump has been steadfast in his support of Paxton. Shortly after news broke of Paxton's acquittal, President Trump congratulated him and criticized the impeachment trial. President Trump wrote on Truth Social, "Congratulations to Attorney General Ken Paxton on a great and historic Texas-sized victory. I also want to congratulate his wonderful wife and family for having had to go through this ordeal and winning." President Trump also thanked Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick for showing great professionalism and fairness. And that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much for your support of Front Page. Please remember that every like, comment, and share helps more people to see the truth. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you have already subscribed, we thank you, but please double check to make sure that you're still subscribed, because some of our audience have reported that they're somehow unsubscribed without their knowledge. We also heard that many of you don't get notifications of our videos on YouTube. So when you subscribe on YouTube, please make sure that you tap the notification bell as well. Okay, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you heard today, please don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family, because everybody deserves to know the truth. Again, thank you for watching Front Page, and we will see you next time.